Do our conversations about crypto have you wanting to do more with your career? Check out Fidelity, which has been exploring Bitcoin and blockchain since 2014. They were the first traditional asset manager to launch a native crypto business and also among the first to launch a Bitcoin exchange-traded product. So why consider Fidelity? Because they invest in their talent with continuing education programs and they invest in their technology, ensuring associates are working with the latest and greatest so that their crypto teams can continue to improve and evolve their product, staying ahead of the rapidly changing digital asset landscape. With Fidelity's iterative, scalable approach, built to meet today's increasing demands across the digital space and a commitment to developing innovative tools, there's never been a more interesting time to work in crypto and DeFi at Fidelity. Explore Fidelity Crypto Careers today. Go to crypto.fidelitycareers.com to learn more. That's crypto.fidelitycareers.com. Fidelity is an equal opportunity employer. And now it is on with the show. My guest today is Oliver Feldmeier. Oliver is the founder and CEO at Griffin AI, basically the #1 AI agent builder for DeFi. We'll learn all about this today. Welcome to the show, Oliver.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you here. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. It would be cool if you could please introduce yourself. I would love to hear some of your personal and professional backstory. What have you been doing in the lead up to founding Griffin AI?
Yeah, so I'm based in Germany, Switzerland, originally from Germany. My background is in consulting. So I was doing the big projects for large financial institutions, mostly on the tech side, working on technology innovation. And innovation, that's what brought me to blockchain. You can imagine the speed at those big corporates. It's quite slow. And that was back in 2015, 16. We were talking about blockchain. We were talking about AI, machine learning mostly. Implementing something on that side just took way too long. So in 2017, I dived deep into the crypto space. I co-founded and built up a cryptocurrency exchange here in Europe. Became the first one in the region, operated out of Switzerland and Liechtenstein. We did a few years later an IPO on NASDAQ, First North in Sweden. And about 2 years ago, I dived deep into the AI space. It started as an internal project. We were working on some machine learning approaches to do auto rebalancing for trades and transactions, portfolio management, things like this. But then the GPT happened and we realized, let's forget all of those old technologies and approaches. Those language models will be the new way how we will interface with the internet, with blockchain, with transactions. And that's what led us to create Griffin AI.
Fantastic. Thank you, Oliver. In that case, then, I think it's probably useful just for you to explain a little bit more about what Griffin AI is. So I guess give us the kind of the high level vision statement, what Griffin AI is now and kind of where you hope it will go.
So for us, it's all about connecting AI and specifically AI agents with blockchain technology. We see that as the big catalyst, actually a catalyst for both, for artificial intelligence and for blockchain. Artificial intelligence, AI, it will need an execution layer, a data layer, authentication layer like blockchain to really become autonomous. If you're an agent and your job is to manage money, or your job is to book flights and engage in e-commerce activities, you will need access to financial means. You will need access to a wallet or to a bank account, but bank accounts, they will not be so easy to come by for an AI agent. But on the blockchain side, we have built all those tools that machines, AI, can use to really become more autonomous and be able to transact in the world. That's why we believe blockchain will be the big catalyst for AI agents. And on the other hand, also AI will bring a lot to blockchain. We expect that within the next few years, 90% or significantly more of all transactions will actually be initiated by AI. So for us, it's really about focusing on the intersection and enabling this pathway.
Well, give us a
So that's
sense of
maybe the
how.
abstract.
Yeah, no, I understand, Oliver. Thank you. Give us a sense of, I guess, how big you see this market at the moment, right? Because I guess you'd be concentrating on existing DeFi users, which is, I guess it's a big market, but it's a niche part of a niche industry. But over time, I'm sure you expect that to grow. So just give us a sense of how you think about the market now and how you extrapolate that into the future.
Absolutely. It's for us, this DeFi finance, crypto finance niche that we focus on, because that's where our background is, and that's basically one of the stones that has to fall first before general agents can use the blockchain also for other means. So this is the area we focus on. We started building infrastructure, but then soon realized the use cases are still missing. So like, what can those agents do? So we kind of started building one agent after another and building out our platform into an agent builder. And those agents, I would say in the DeFi space, yeah, they are for people that want to engage with DeFi, with blockchain. But we believe the long-term potential here is much bigger, because this is what is needed to onboard people that are outside of crypto now. For us, and you mean we have been in the space for a long time. For us, it's probably cumbersome to transact, to find the right route, to know when to bridge over to what protocol, where to swap. And for new people getting into the space, this is basically impossible to understand, and the complexities and options are just increasing. So if we manage to abstract basically the need for humans to interact with blockchain, if we abstract this away from people, then there is no reason why not everybody transacts in the blockchain and maybe not even realizes what they are doing under the hood of those agents.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, Oliver, and it's like listeners can think of this as, the kind of the move from AI assistants to AI agents, but also like, people will have they will have heard of, trading bots. Maybe even people have tried a trading bot, a very kind of rudimentary early example of an AI assistant. But what you're talking about is, kind of the next evolution of something that can do that. So maybe explain, the move from, to the next level and what some of these agents are able to do in terms of, being a kind of like a financial analyst and a trader combined, working on behalf of the user, Oliver?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you introduced a couple of interesting concepts here. It's on the one side, the shift away from assistants and chatbots towards real AI agents. So what this means, a chatbot is somebody you ask and you get an answer. But an AI agent is meant to get results for you. So you give it a task and it goes off and does the thing for you. It maybe needs to plan something. It needs to get certain data. It needs to use tools. It needs to have some reasoning algorithm around it, some verification, blockchain capabilities to send transaction, to stack transaction statuses, and so on. So it's a software program around it. Now, before the introduction of language models and GPT and so on, we always had trading bots, but they had basically a very hard-coded logic. So they were good for algorithmic trading, for very fast stuff. And you define exactly whenever the price goes above a moving average or something, then you buy or you sell. Like you define very concrete rules and then it can execute. And I think this started in the 80s, in the 90s. It took really off. It's classical algorithmic trading that the big quant firms did. And many people in crypto did as well, on a smaller scale, obviously. But now if you combine the two concepts, those trading automation with language models, we enter a world where you're no longer limited to those very narrow transactional algorithmic trading strategies. we're entering a space where the AI agent can act basically as your investment advisor, as your risk manager, as your researcher, all rolled up into one interface you're interacting with. So unlike just a simple alert-triggered trading system, signal-triggered trading system, you now can reason with your agent. You can get it to review white papers. You can get it to read forums and summarize it for you. It can analyze the news. It can assess sentiment. It can assess hundreds of different assets and give its recommendations what it thinks are the most promising right now. It can ingest data and charts, but it can also ingest qualitative information. And at the end of the day, it will be able to explain to you why it did, what it did, and also give you recommendations. So it's a complete change of this, of the way, of the things that are possible through automation and bringing it to a completely different level.
Well, it'd be useful to talk about some of those agents. On your website, there's some cool pictures, which always helps, some kind of like, cyberpunk, steampunk illustrations of, I guess, the different agents. There's the research agent, alpha hunter, Web3 news agent, transaction execution assistant, analyst agent. So maybe just kind of talk through what we mean by some of them.
So that's, it's a broad landscape, and we built many different agents for different use cases. And the next big thing for us is basically wrapping them all up into one interface. But right now, what you see, it's a few agents really dedicated to the research domain. So there are agents that analyze the price analyst, the market watcher. They analyze over 2,000 cryptos. Whenever you want, it analyzes all of them. They crunch through the data. They draw their own price charts and indicators and analyze the performance, the price performance, short midterm trends, and gives you recommendation. What is currently bullish, what is bearish, and so on. Like that's one set of agents. Other agents, they analyze on-chain patterns. They look in index pools for buying pressure of certain, like small cap, newly listed tokens. They are really focusing on that niche. And one of the agents that excites me the most, actually, we just released it today. Not sure when this is showing, so it's now probably by the time this is out, maybe a few days live. TEA Turbo, Transaction Execution Agent Turbo. It's basically an execution-grade chat interface that you can connect to your wallet. And what it does, you can interact with this interface, you can chat to it. There are different modules, your wallet view, pool views you can click on. So it's like a dual interface. It has click elements, but also language model interfaces. So you can chat with it, and you can basically swap on Uniswap on 1inch. You can go out and earn yield on Aave. It gives you a summary of your portfolio, your assets. You can initiate transactions, and all of this with voice interaction. Yeah, this is really exciting. It's still non-custodial, so you are still in control of your keys. You don't give them away. So at the end of the day, the agent prepares the transaction for you, but then it's still up to you to check in your wallet and give the final approval.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Oliver. And I've seen another way of you explaining this that I've seen you talk about is it's the ownership layer, right? Which, of course, anyone that's dabbled in Web3 DeFi, they'll understand the difference between owning something and not owning something, right? So how does that apply when we're talking about agents?
Yeah, it applies to pretty much everything important in life. It's at the end of the day, you need to answer the question to yourself. Do you want to give all your data and trust to the big organization like OpenAI, like Grok, like Google, anyone? Do you want to give all your trust and place all your trust with these big entities? Or are there maybe certain parts of your life? It's maybe your personal data. It's maybe your trading decisions. It may be whatever is really important to you. Maybe you don't want to give and rely on those big players, but you'd rather have something you can control yourself, you can authenticate yourself, you own the private keys. It's basically the same question when it comes to AI agents. And for us, we do often rely on large language models, on frontier models from OpenAI and so on, because they are fast, they are cheap, and they get the work done. But for sensitive applications, that's maybe not what you want to do. So we are working here. One example is by placing agents inside trusted execution environment. So they're running on a dedicated hardware chip, and you can always validate what version of code they are running. So and get this transparency. It's probably too much if you just want to have a chat or check the latest movie recommendations. You don't need this type of security. But if it's about trading, if it's about personal data, but health data and things like this, probably many people actually will care where this data goes to.
Yeah.
And where it's executed.
Got it. Understood. And one of the key things to this as well, Oliver, is this idea of, I guess it's a no-code builder, right? So people are able to, you give them the building blocks and they can start to put their own agents together without learning to code. Of course, that's a trend that we're seeing right across the world at the moment due to AI, of course, ironically. But just tell us how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for many of us, even with all the vibe coding and so on, building your own agent, it's still quite a challenge. And I doubt myself I could build one that really executes to the level I wanted to execute and deliver. Building an agent is actually quite a lot of work, especially in the blockchain space. You need to integrate so many different protocols, different APIs, different smart contracts. You need to validate data. You need to make sure that the agent does not hallucinate or invent stuff. So there's a lot of stuff you have to build, and it takes quite, it can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to really ship a solid agent. And that's why we want to make it more accessible to people. For this, we have created an agent builder. Right now, it operates similar to what you can get with OpenAI, with the GPTs. But unlike those models, it has already certain crypto native capabilities integrated. So at the time of the creation of the agent, with a few clicks and a few prompts, you can define what crypto tools you want to use. You can choose to access API price information for crypto assets. You can choose to access other agents that produce quite complex technical analyst chart reading reports. You can access agents that can read DEX information, that can look for the buy pressure on DEXs and things like this. And you can activate cryptocurrency news. You can activate agents to have access to summaries of podcasts. And those capabilities are pretty much baked into those agents, and users can just activate it and use them to build their own stuff on top of this.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Thank you, Oliver. And look, case study, is it TIA Turbo or TEA Turbo? So just explain what that is.
So it's basically an interface. You can connect to your wallet. It sees what balance you have, what assets you have. It gives you a quick overview, and you can then engage with it. You can initiate swaps. You can initiate send transactions. You can go on and earn yield, identify yield pools and deposit to them. And it does all of this basically with language input. You can type your answers, but you can also click on elements. So sometimes it's quicker to click somewhere, or you want to have a nice dashboard or something. You don't want to have every answer always like a long text form like you get in a GPT, but you want to have widgets you can click around with and navigate. And basically, TEA is this trading assistant that prepares transactions before it sends it to your wallet.
All right. Well, as we start to finish up, this part of the podcast, at least, Oliver, what's the future? So I've seen you talk about, agent to agent commerce. So, I mean, I think people can understand kind of the general idea of that, what that is, but just talk about what you mean there from your perspective.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andy. It's what we now see. It's agents that do stuff for us. You are usually directing your agent to do something specific for you as a human, and it tries to do it quite encapsulated using its own tools and the way it was built for. But the next iteration will actually be way more seamless, and it will allow those agents to contact other agents if they know, well, I need to get this video produced. I don't know how to produce the videos. It can contact another agent that knows exactly and is specialized in creating videos. So those agents can negotiate between each other and make a deal, align on payment terms, on outputs, on SLAs, on what is the output, the final deliverable. And then those agents go and do their thing, each one, and they will cooperate together. And for this to happen, you need messaging protocols on the one hand between those agents, and you also need a commercial layer, how they can then exchange value, because all of this, it costs compute, it costs data, energy, whatever. It's not free. So those agents will only collaborate if there is something in it for them. And what is more natural than having some form of money? And this is, I think, where crypto really, really shines, because we have those means of exchanging value. And that's why I'm a firm believer and excited to see those next wave of agents go live that really will transact seamlessly between each other and build out this marketplace.
100%. All right. Well, to finish up this part of the podcast, Oliver, just tell people where they can go to learn exactly what you guys are doing, what they're building, and how they can get involved with Griffin AI.
Just please head on over to our website. It's griffinai.io. You can launch the application there, and it's for free. So we don't charge people yet. There's a premium model, but basically everybody can use the base agents, create their own agents for free. And just get your hands dirty, play around with them. Tell us what you think on Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Everything is linked there. And we're happy to engage and looking to seeing you on the platform and seeing your agents on the network.
Awesome. Time to go to a very quick break then, listeners, and then when we come back we'll have some fun. We'll finish off by running Oliver through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Back in 1 second. All right, we are back, and I'm with Oliver. Oliver, of course, is the founder of Griffin AI. Yeah, kind of no-code, DeFi, AI agents, fascinating stuff. Oliver, it's time to finish up the show, and we do that by running you through the very famous crypto conversation hot take round. Are you up for it?
I'm up for it. Let's throw it at me.
Just say yes. I'm going to throw it at you anyway, Oliver. I just want you to give me your honest answers. No choice. Honest answers to the following questions. Question 1 for you, Oliver, is very simply, where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Oh, in the middle. For most of my investments, I'm very conservative, but when it comes to the application of the technology, I'm sitting absolutely on the side of multi-chain, of a bright multi-chain future.
No, understand, makes perfect sense. What would you say then, Oliver, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
My firmest conviction is that we are in front of a fundamental change that will bring crypto to a whole new level. And I see the two driving forces. Unfortunately, the global political situation and macroeconomy with the money printing and so on, and really desolate status of governments in different countries in Europe, throughout the world. I think that will be a big driver, unfortunately a negative one, but it will drive the industry forward. And on the other hand, I think AI will be a challenge for us, but also a big opportunity. And those two combined, they will drive a really big wave of change and innovation and bring actually blockchain to the next level.
Yeah. Another way of thinking about this, I guess, is, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. So I guess with that in mind, let's say Griffin AI, what does it look like in 10 years' time, Oliver?
In 10 years' time, it's even difficult to see it because it will be evolving. It's going to be a broad ecosystem of protocols, agents collaborating with each other, but also open to other networks. So I think in 10 years from now, it's going to be an integral part of this global blockchain AI agent ecosystem. And as a human, you don't even need to see it anymore because you have your AI agent to tell you whatever you want when you need it. And it becomes really an experience unlike what we have today with the internet.
Yeah, 100%. Another way of thinking about this is, it's a wonderful quote by William Gibson, who famously said, Oliver, that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. Can you think of an example of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
It's knowledge and what we imagine what could be. I think pretty much all of us, people listening to this podcast with a certain interest in blockchain, with a certain interest in AI, we are already a few steps ahead the average of humanity. For them, it's still very abstract topics and far in the future, and they don't even know how it could change, what impact it could have. They don't really worry about it. They are not really excited about it. They're just not aware of it. And I think that that is for us now kind of like, we always talk about it. We listen to it every day on podcasts like this. For us, it's something we are aware of, but the vast majority of humans is not.
100%. And it brings us nicely to the final question, which is very simply, what is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
So I can't remember how many times I have seen Star Wars with my kids. They force me every few weeks going through from that's absolutely one of the high ones up there. And books, I think the one I still remember best from my childhood, it's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, some great selections there. Everyone loves Star Wars, and The Hitchhiker's Guide, yeah, an absolute classic by Douglas Adams. Love it. Just to close it out, Oliver, and look, thank you for coming on the show and spending some time with us. An absolute pleasure. To close it out, please, again, just direct people to the Griffin AI website, and look, feel free to share your social media handles, anything like that. Please go for gold.
So it's griffinai.io. That's the website. And I saved you the rest. Everything else is linked right there. Just follow us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Oliver.
Andy,
all the best. And bye for now.
Andy, thank you very much for having me. Bye for now. Take care. Goodbye.